the greater good.
Honey, did somebody drop something off at the door? It's the Iceriver RX0 Radiant Mining Mini Beast.
Yeah, honey, some guy dropped off a box at the door. He was rambling on saying something about the entity and that the future is radiant and that...
Not now, I'm doing crypto stuff. Ah, there it is. Let's unbox this thing with an unnecessarily large knife. Boom. There it is. So I bought this myself with my own money like a big boy, and it was 400 bucks. And we're gonna take a look at the profitability now versus when I ordered it. And we're gonna compare this to this autographed KS0 Pro. And the main reason is because I just like to show it off. No, I mean, there is some differences sometimes, like these little extra fins here. I just want to see what it looks like compared to the KS0 Pro. So we'll compare it to some other models. This was autographed by a bunch of guys when I went to the Casper party at Mining Disrupt. Wolfie, Bubblegum Lightning, Shy by Borski himself, Rue Barbarian. Here's Shy's autograph. So yeah, I just like to show this thing off, but I also like to compare it to previous models. So anyway, let's go ahead and pop this thing out of the box. We'll take a look at it. There's less fins. You can see there's only like fins on about 4 of the like main fins compared to the Pro, which has, look at all these fins on this thing, all across the whole thing. So as far as like the connections go, barrel plug is the same. Ethernet button and reset button and IP report button and all that is the same. So essentially the same exact setup as the KS0 Pro. So let's go ahead. I'll show you really quickly how to set it up, and then we will do some testing. We'll see if we get the hash rate that's advertised. We'll take a look at it with the Predator, and we'll see what kind of cooling this thing likes compared to other models. Also, because some of these like to run hot, most of these actually seem like they like to run hot lately. The KS0 Ultra, the AL0, they want to run a little on the hot side. So we'll see how this does in what temperature range. We'll hit it with the thermal imaging camera, the Predator, and we'll see what it looks like. But let's go ahead and log in to the computer and we will set it up and then we'll do the testing. Okay, so here is the RX0 just sitting on its side. I'm just gonna leave it on its side and use the internal fans for now. And then if I need to, I can add like a USB fan or like an Axial 1238 if it really needs to be cooled down, but I get a feeling it's gonna run very similar to the KS0 Ultra and the AL0. It's gonna probably wanna run a little hot. So I have a power supply that I've been using on these machines lately. You can run up to 3 of these RX0s or 3 AL0s or 3 KS0 Ultras on this single power supply, and it's only about like 40 bucks. So I will show you on the screen real quick. I did a video just to show you how to build it real quick. It's super easy. You guys have probably seen this in my other videos. That's what I've been using. And I like it because I can run multiple units on a very cheap power supply. There's adjustable voltage. So I got it set for 19.5 right now. These are like 19 to 20 volt power supplies for these little home miners from Iceriver. So right now, because of the light and everything on this power supply, it runs at baseline like 4 watts, which is pretty much negligible. But just so you know, at baseline, it takes 4 watts to run the little LED display and things like that. And there's also a built-in fan, so you can't really hear it. I don't think it's running just yet, but that will take a little bit of power too, but it cools this thing off for you automatically, which is nice. So it will take a little bit of wattage for the fan and the LED. Anyway, let's go ahead and just plug this thing in. If you haven't done it before, it's super easy. Barrel plug just plugs in right there. Ethernet cable plugs in right there. So you plug those 2 things in and then you wait a couple minutes and then I will show you how to log into the web GUI.
Okay, so you're going to start your journey on Iceriver.io. That's the only official website for Iceriver. And first you're gonna see that they have some new miners. I will be getting a KS2 Lite, and I haven't pulled the trigger on the AL2 Lite yet. I'm thinking about it. But you can get a discount on these. Discount code is greater, and you should be able to get up to 2.5% off on any of the Iceriver miners. And these are some new cool box miners. You might have seen my other video that I just did really quickly while I was on the road. They got new box miners, 500 watts, 2 terahash for the KS2 Lite, 500 watts, 2 terahash for the AL2 Lite. So anyway, let's go to the very bottom of this home page here. And we're going to click on tutorial. And then we're going to download the batch processing tool in English. And then once you download that, you'll see it on your desktop. It's going to look just like this, Iceriver Miner Tool. You're going to double click into that. And mine's in Chinese because I downloaded this a long time ago. I never bothered switching it because I don't really use it for anything else. You're going to click right here where it says IP. And then you're going to get this pop-up menu right here, or this pop-up window, I mean. And you're just going to hit the little button that I'm showing you on the side of the miner. That's right next to the blinky light. And then a IP address will pop up in this window right here. All you need to do is take this IP address that you're seeing right here and punch it into your Chrome browser, hit enter, and it will take you to the login screen. Okay, so once you've punched the IP address into your Chrome browser, you're gonna type in admin, and the password is 1234567 Log in. We are now logged into the web GUI, and we're getting normal hash rate. It says normal fan speed. Miner temperature is normal. We're getting 272 gigahash on the 5-minute average, and the advertised hash rate is about 260 plus or minus 5%. So we're right where we want to be. So it's been running for about 15 minutes. We need to change out the pool address, and we need to change out the wallet worker. I have a link in the description of this video for Humpool. If you want to use Humpool, I will probably use them, and then maybe set up a different backup pool also. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. I just wanted to check the temperatures on the machine. Temp 1 is your exhaust, and it says 73 degrees Celsius. Temp 2 is 52 degrees Celsius. That's the intake. And right now it's showing that the fans are not even running. So this is another one of those miners that likes to run hot. I put my hand on it just now as I'm speaking to you. It's hot to the touch. So it's nothing different from the KS0 Ultra and the AL0. They want to run on the hot side. So 73 degrees intake, 73 degrees exhaust fan. It's not even kicking on the internal fans yet. When I did testing on the AL0, it kicked in, I want to say it was like around 82 degrees Celsius when the internal fans finally started kicking on, but they only kicked on for like a second and shut off again. It's just to keep it around 80 degrees or so. So most of the time, I'd rather have it run a little bit cooler. I don't want it to get too hot, especially if I put this in my garage, which is probably the final destination. I'd recommend usually you test this where it's going to be located. Right now, I'm in an air-conditioned room, so it's probably about like 75 degrees in the room that I'm in. So just kind of be aware that if you have this running in a hot garage, you might want to put a USB fan on it, like I'm showing in the video right now. This USB fan only takes a few watts. It'll cool down the heatsink a tiny bit and cool the chips down just a tiny bit. Usually you don't want the chips cool down too much. I like to leave it where my AL0s and like KS0 Ultras run probably around 70 degrees or so, just like this. So if I get it in the garage and it's running too hot, I'll probably put this USB fan on that you're seeing right here. There's affiliate links for the power supply I showed earlier, and affiliate links for this USB fan in the description. If you like the content and you want to support the channel, you can use those links. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps out the channel. So let's go ahead and continue setting this thing up. Since it seems to be very happily running at this temperature, I'll leave the fans alone at the moment. Mining settings, this is where you're going to punch in your pool. I will probably, like I said, use Humpool. Like I said, there's a link in the description. I am going to use Tangem Wallet. I have Tangem wallets that I mine my Caspa to, and I'm going to be mining to an individual Tangem wallet to keep track of this exact miner, the RX0. So I'm going to mine on a fresh Tangem wallet address for Radiant for my RX0, because a lot of people are saying these things are going to turn to bricks and these things aren't going to mine their money back. This thing was about $400 plus shipping for me. I bought it with my own money. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I'm going to try to keep track of this for you guys so you can see eventually, was this worth it to buy this miner? So I will keep track of it. I will do updates down the line, and we'll see how it goes. If we're going into a bull run, maybe I'll be very happy with the amount this mine. Or maybe it'll be similar to lately. It seems like tons of these new miners are coming out for different algorithms and just kind of like crushing the network hash rate, making it unprofitable for some of the smaller miners. So anyway, I want to keep track of that. I think it'll be helpful to know going forward. if this thing eventually will pay for itself. So, and it's just kind of fun to keep track and just see how it goes. So I'm going to punch in my Tangent wallet address. I'm going to be giving away a Tangent card in this video. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel, and comment something nice about the video and put hashtag Tangent, and I will ship a 2-card Tangent wallet to you if you win. Okay, so I'll punch in my pool, I'll punch in my address, and then we will change the password. Okay, so now that you've punched in your pool and your own wallet address to mine too, I'm gonna change the password. So right now the password is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and then you just change your password by punching in a new password and hitting confirm here. And once you punch in the password twice, then you hit save, and then it'll ask you to log back in. So we'll do all that, and then we'll log back into the web GUI. Okay, so we logged back into the miner, and I wanted to show something that seems to be new and very cool. If you've seen these miners before, you know there's a home screen, the mining settings, IP settings, user settings, firmware upgrade, if there's ever a stock firmware that we can change on this. But new to me is this miner log right here. And I like that we can look back through to see what is going on with these miners. So you can see in the history log here, there's a current log, and I changed my pool and all of that. And you can see actively in the current log that I changed my pool and I changed my mining, like the mining wallet and all that. And then in the history log, you can see the calibrations and things like that. So it looks like on September 28th, they did calibrations. They set probably these pools in here. And then it was shipped to me shortly after that. So it's pretty cool that you can see the history of the miner and the current logs and keep track of what's going on. And you can even download the log here if you want to. So that is a new feature that I did not see or did not notice in previous iterations of these little home miners from Iceriver. So that is pretty cool. Now we can kind of keep track of what's been going on if you have any trouble, and maybe that'll help with troubleshooting if you need to reach out to support and things like that. So very cool new feature. Okay, so we've been running for about 26 minutes now. So the hash rate's kind of like going up and down a little bit, averaging out, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on that for a little while. But I wanted to show the wattage. It's been anywhere from like 105 to about 110, depending on what the fan speeds are doing. It's auto adjusting itself. Let's take a look at the temperatures now. So the hash rate did seem to drop a tiny bit. These fans are defaulted to auto, and they're running at 5,500 RPM. The temperature is down to 58 degrees, and my hash rate does seem to have dropped a tiny bit. But I'm gonna just let it auto adjust and do its thing, and we'll keep an eye on it for a while. Now, I wanna see how hot this thing is getting because it's been running for a while. This is the temperature it seems to be auto adjusting to for now. So I'm gonna hit it with the thermal camera. We'll ask the Predator to help us out and see what he sees. Okay, so it's kind of the same thing we've seen in other videos that I've done with the thermal camera. If you have it on its side, the heat's gonna rise to the top. So it's 64.6 at the top of the ASIC. In the middle, it's saying it's like 62. And there's no holes up there to let the hot air out. So it's not a huge problem because we're not like massively overheating or anything like that. But if it gets to the point where we can overclock these things, you definitely wanna pop the end plates out and put a shroud on it. If you're gonna run it stock, you might wanna sit it so it's facing upright. So the fins are facing up and the internal fans are on the bottom. And that way the heat can kind of go out those holes that you saw in the top earlier when I was showing you like the differences between the two, the KS0 Pro and the RX0. You know those holes are meant to, get the heat out. Right now I'm not having an issue with heat, so I'm not too worried about it. But I did decide to put these little rubber feet underneath it and have it sitting like normal on the desk. So the fins are up. I have a USB fan sitting on top like I showed you guys before. And that's the way I'm gonna run this thing for now. That way the heat can kind of go up through those holes like it's meant to, and it doesn't get trapped on one side of the ASIC by sitting it on its side. So that's just what I'm gonna do. I'm sure it's fine if you guys wanna sit them on the side, especially if the fans are blowing hard enough. But I just want the heat to be evenly distributed on the heatsink itself. Okay, so now let's take a look at the Radiant network hash rate, the price of Radiant, and the profitability at the moment. And I'm not the type of person that cares much about the profitability at the moment, but I do care a little bit when you buy a miner and the price is X amount of dollars, and then within the month before you can get the thing, it is October 2nd. I just received it. Now we're down to so much less Radiant we're mining per day, and that has kind of been the game lately. Like, you're hoping when you buy the miner, you know that the hash rate's going to go up. You know that the profitability is going to go down. We're counting on price appreciation of all these assets to make all this make sense, and we're hoping for a bull run, basically, right? So anyway, let's look at the hash rate, and it's pretty surprising. So here's about where in April the entity came online, as it's been known to be called. So we went from like 70 to 80 terahash up to like 200 to 215 terahash, sometimes in the high 100s. And it was pretty flat for a long time. But then look at what happened just a month ago. September was about a month ago, September 3rd. Look at this hash rate climbing. Now we're up to about 1.5, 1.7 petahash. And that is just in 1 month's time. So we know all these new miners are coming out for Radiant. It's going to be just like with Caspa, just like with Aletheum. You're hoping that you get in early enough and can mine enough coin to make it make sense, to make the asymmetric bet make sense. Because if you buy the coin, that's it, you're done. You buy the coin and it's done, which sometimes for people, that's nice. I do both. I buy the coin and I buy a miner, or several miners, depending on how much I believe in the project. So that's kind of what I have done. I had to do a double take and make sure. I checked 2 different websites because I'm like, has it really gone up that much? And yeah, even like hashrate.no is saying we went from like 0.23 petahash at the end of August, early September, all the way up to that like almost 2 petahash, it's saying. So I seriously was like, I got to do a double take. I got to double check this because it just seems so insane to me. But that's what has been happening with these ASIC coins. The ASIC manufacturers are making these new miners, and then we're buying them with some expectation of like profitability and everything. But like the coins that are lower market cap coins like Radiant are very volatile. So I don't want you guys to lose hope or anything. Nothing I say is financial advice, but the price of Radiant is down. It's been as high lately as like 0.169 according to CoinGecko. So that is a significant change in the price. And if this goes back up, or if you think that Radiant has a good shot at price appreciation because the bull run's coming, then maybe this isn't such a big deal. And maybe these first batch RX0s are going to do just fine. When I got my first batch KS0, I was mining like 3,000 something Caspa per day, in June of like 2023. It was a different time. We were in a bear market, and no one else had any Iceriver ASICs at that time. So it's like kind of a totally different story, but you get the gist of what I'm saying. Sometimes these first batch miners can do pretty well, but you kind of have to expect that eventually it's not going to be able to keep up, because they're going to keep making these miners. The ASIC manufacturers will continue to make these miners. So there's the price of Radiant. Profitability today for an RX0 is $1 per day. So that is a significant drop. I believe like a little over a month ago, it was like 10 times as much. So that is a significant drop. Now, I don't care that much at this moment because it's only taken 100 watts. That's kind of been my stance with the home miners. It's always been my stance with the home miners that you're never going to get rich with these things. That's why I buy, if I'm going to invest in miners, I buy the coin when I try to like DCA or look for dips, and I buy the coin and I mine the coin because I'm supporting the network that way. And then I also have the asymmetric bet of mining on top of my purchase, the purchase of the coin and the purchase of the miner. I'm hoping that I have a good shot at making a pretty good profit and return once I decide to sell. And I'm still hoping, even though Uptober hasn't been very impressive yet, it's only October 2nd, that I'm hoping that the history will kind of rhyme and we'll be going into a bull run soon. That's my hope. So anyway, I hope this video was helpful to you, or at least interesting. If you like this kind of content, please consider checking out some of my other videos. Like I said, subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to comment and hit the like button if you want to win the Tangent Wall. You have to put hashtag Tangent. And I hope you guys are successful with your mining journey with this RX0. So anyway, yeah, hit the like button, subscribe, and last but not least, don't forget to keep it decentralized for the greater good. The greater